So,
Hello, welcome back to Nat Valley Farms. Today we're going to take a look at our compost piles and talk about what it can do for our garden. If we look over to the left, you'll see a huge pile of weeds that came from last winter's garden. If you look to the right, you'll see last year's compost pile. We've cleared off a couple of these weeds, and you can start to see the quality of the soil.
super rich.
Loomy, soft, dark, but there's still some weeds on the top of it. That's what we're going to do right now, is look for some of the big weeds that we have to get out of here so that we can add this dark soil to our new garden.
Not new, but
Well, to this year's garden.
yeah.
If we
First-
come along this way, we're going to see the most annoying weed that attacks our garden. It has these great big,
Are you sure a tree didn't fall onto the compost pile?
sure sounded like it, didn't it? But no.
And it looks like it. Like, look at it.
So this is a weed that when it establishes itself in your fertile compost bin, creates great big, difficult roots to remove. So we're going to go ahead and try to find an example.
I think that's a good example.
Yeah, we certainly see some big weeds to get out
Also,
of
should we show them the more mild but big
Right.
weeds that we pulled earlier?
Oh yeah. So this root might be hard to pull out, but let me show you an example of just how big this root can be, even at smaller stage.
Super thick.
Look at this. This is bigger than a potato. This is huge, and you can see that several of the roots broke off. Well, those might be a problem for us. So when we put all that new soil into our garden, we have to make sure those roots don't get in there. But there's still a great amount of super rich organic soil from the past.
So we also check on the plum trees we planted last year
Oh,
and the oak tree.
yeah, let's check on that.
They're still pretty tiny. Maybe you can see off in the distance there's some metal sticking out of the ground. That's where we marked a baby oak tree that we planted last year. If you can, I'm gonna have to
Really
zoom in.
closely to see it. But here it is. There is
Tiny plum tree.
native plum tree. We'll get some of this ground cover pulled out of there.
It looks like a weed. Luckily, no one's mistaken it for a weed.
And we had a little trouble last year because Grandpa Franco was trying to help out by mowing, and he accidentally, while he was helping the neighbors get their yard mowed, ran this over, which is why it's so short.
That's what happened. Yeah, I remember it was bigger, but I didn't remember you telling me that story.
Yeah, well, I wasn't sure it was going to come back this year, so. But it has, and so if we get some new mulch on there, that root structure, even though the top isn't very good. Oh, hello, Wormy.
Ooh, that looks like a good worm for the chickens. Oh,
Or for the soil.
yeah.
Either way, they're good. So we'll put some new mulch on there to try to protect that plant. But even though the top is awfully short and not looking super big, its root structure should be well settled. So we may get this one back.
That kind of looks like the ring from Lord of the Rings.
So an example of, yeah, it does. An example of one of our trees
There we go. Found
that
it.
didn't get mowed down is right here.
Pretty skinny, but fairly tall for a baby.
And we can see that part of it didn't come back. Right here, there's the main thing. but a new sprout came up and it's budding out.
I'm so proud of my trees.
Now, the one I haven't found.
They had to make it through a lot, but they're growing right by the compost pile.
Yeah,
Where that one is.
Yeah, they sure are. So I have to be careful every time I bring compost out. I don't want to hit that tree.
Wait, how did that rope get there?
That's actually a metal cable.
Oh, that's a cable?
Yeah.
It looks like a super stiff metal rope. And there's a third one, right, Dad?
There is a third one.
I think it's where that orange stake is, right there.
No. It was between these two. But he ran right over it.
Cut the whole thing?
Yep. And so I haven't seen it pop back up. Should be somewhere in line between that one and this one. And I was thinking this depression here might have been where it was planted, but I haven't seen anything pop up yet.
How about the oak tree?
Now let's go look at the oak tree.
Yeah, that's the biggest one. The one that I'm most proud of. They are my trees. I did pay for them. They're like $19 total, right?
Yeah, well, we went to a native plant sale here in West Michigan, Grand Rapids Township.
Birds, stop! Oh my God.
They're trying to get attention, I think.
They're actually calling for food. So it can be pretty annoying. First time it's happened to us, probably because it's just starting to turn into spring. Or actually it was spring a while ago, but it seemed like winter. It was just snowing mid-spring.
So this is weird, all this metal here. What's going on?
After that lawnmower incident, we decided to put these stakes here so our grandpa knew that the tree is right here, and it's starting to bud.
There we go. That's exactly what I was hoping for.
Also, the plum trees are producing a couple buds, but
so this is really encouraging to see those live little sparks there. And what we'll do,
smooth the leaves.
Yeah, we'll get the leaves out of the way. We'll pull some of the grass because the grass is stealing the nutrient that the tree needs to grow. So later on, we'll put some mulch on it. We'll feed the tree and give it a better chance to really start out this spring to have its first big growth. So it survived the winter and it's budding out. So we should have a nice little oak growing here. This is a red oak.
Awesome.
Yeah. And
I believe that's red oak too.
There you go. Let's go take a look at the other red oak, because Aiden picked this tree as a complement and a balance to this mature oak over here. You can see a wood pile behind
Just imagine that red oak over there turning into this.
Look at that. I can barely get my arms around it. That is a beautiful red oak.
Oh, I almost fell back.
One thing about oak trees is
they're huge.
they are huge.
All trees are huge, actually,
when they get mature. But the cool thing is they'll drop a ton of acorns, and those acorns become food for wildlife. That was a bit of a close-up there, wasn't it? All right.
Also, guys, don't give me a hard time that my dad is getting all the weeds away from the trees, because I'm filming this video. I've been filming all of the videos for him.
Yeah, and it's important to remember, you don't have to worry. I won't attack you with my muddy hands.
Okay. Don't get the camera lens muddy, Dad.
Thanks for joining us at Nat Valley Farms. Just wanted to show you what's going on this spring.